Oscar winners George Clooney and Renée Zellweger returned to Greenville recently to promote the movie Leatherheads and to receive a very special honor.
Good to see you. Hi, you guys. Not only are we going to welcome them this morning, but we're going to present to them some very special information.
Uh-oh.
We want to present these to you as honorary citizens because you have made Greenville very proud. Not just putting us on the map, but you brought economic development and family entertainment, which is wonderful. And so you have given us something that will be historical and that people will always know that Greenville, South Carolina exists. And so we thank you and we applaud you and we want to give you a Greenville welcome.
Thank you, guys, very much. You know, I gotta say, we were fairly aware of Greenville long before we showed up here. That's my sister, by the way. That doesn't really count as much. Listen, we had such a great time working here, and we wanted to come back and bring the film back here before we go to open it in Los Angeles at the Chinese Theater or any place else. We wanted to be here because we couldn't have done it without you. Period. We couldn't have done it without the people of this town, without the beautiful locations in this town, and without the incredible help of every one of you. So we wanted to thank you very much, and that's why we came back. And I think you guys know Renee.
How you doing?
Say something nice. Say something good.
Oh, it's nice to be back. I think I recognize half this crowd from the game sequences, I think. Yeah, I think. Did you see the film last night at the screening? Did you see yourselves?
Everyone dies in the end.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't have told you that part.
Thanks again for the warm welcome. We had such a nice day, the time of our lives, and we sure won't forget it, or this community. Thank you so much.
Clooney and Zellweger greeted a throng of adoring fans, posed for snapshots, and signed autographs before heading inside the Westin Poinsett for a press conference.
I got lucky. You know, I happened to get lucky enough to get on a television show that 40 million people watched every week, and that sort of makes a big difference in your career because I was sort of plugging along with a perfectly fine career. So I find myself constantly in a position of much more successful than I ever thought I would be, so it's fun. And I take advantage of it daily. No, I've had a good time. The reason I was interested in it was because, you know, you're always looking for a different venue. I mean, not just for comedies, for almost any film. It's hard to find anything original. And really, you haven't seen this since, you know, Jim Thorpe All-American or Horse Feathers. You've probably never seen it in color before. So it's an era and a world that we can play with that is new. And that's almost impossible to find anymore. So it seemed like that was the right reason to do it.
I have a lot of friends from the Carolinas, so I knew it'd be beautiful. I knew we'd have a good time, and I knew we'd eat really well. What surprised me? Well, I went for a nice little walk down that bridge on my first day, and that gorgeous reservoir that I ran around pretty regularly because I had some time off on this film. There were a couple of football games I didn't have to play. I explored a lot. We had a really nice time. Really nice time.
I think coming in, everybody knew it was, you know, Greenville isn't just a complete mystery to the rest of the country. You know, I know sometimes when you're a smaller town, it feels that way, but so we sort of knew something about it, but I don't think we really understood how how pretty it was going to be and how welcome and how easy it was going to be to work here. You know, sometimes it can get tricky when you go on location, but it was really easy, and we used pretty much every location. You know, there is a difference in the way people are sort of accepted here. It's a very different kind of, you know, it's not as, they're very open and fun. And so you felt very much in Anderson as well as here, like you were at a backyard party a lot of the time, and that was fun. It was a great feeling. You didn't feel as if you were strangers intruding at all, and they made us feel really welcome, all of them, really, truly. You're always aware of sort of, you know, where you're going, and you know that, you know, we grew up in small towns, so we both have some idea and understanding of. I mean, I was in a little town in Kentucky, and they shot a miniseries called Centennial there when I was 13 or 14, or 12, 13 years old. And I remember following Raymond Burr around everywhere he went. Raymond Burr! Hey. So I sort of understand the idea of seeing people you've seen on television or in films in person and that effect. So you just, you know, we were aware of a lot of the places we went. You know, we went down to Devereaux's and the Larkins and to, what's some of the other places?
High Cotton, we went to Giorgio's. There was some eating going on, which is sushi
here.
restaurant down
We
there.
ate, yeah, we ate
Thai
pretty much
place.
everything.
Yeah, pretty much everything.
But, you know, there's a tendency to think of extras as extras. And the truth is, you can't make a film without them. So we think of them as part of the film and part of the filmmakers, and they should be treated as the rest of the crew is treated. And we were happy to do it. They made it easy for us. You know, they were so fun. Most of them were down on the field tossing the football with us. You know, it really was sort of a big. A lot of this was just a big, fun time. It was great because it was unseasonably cold at the time, and we were all a little surprised by that because we were soaking wet and covered in mud, and they all had to kind of bear through it too. The kids playing football and the kids and all the people in the stands. It would go from 60 degrees to 22 degrees, you know, in a day, and they just stuck it out, and they were great. So I mean, the reason we came back was because of them. The reason we're here is because of all those people who stuck it out with us, and we thought we should come back and say thanks. It was something we talked about doing when we left here a year ago this week, and we talked about coming back, and we thought it would be a good place. It's the right film to bring back to a small town, and so we really are appreciative of those people. They worked very hard, and you know, there weren't too long hours. It wasn't a really long shoot, but it was long enough and cold enough. Well, thank you guys, by the way, for coming out. I really appreciate it. And
Thanks very much.
Have fun.
Filmed in part in and around Greenville, Leatherheads is a romantic comedy set in the world of 1920s professional football. Clooney plays an aging football player, while Zellweger plays a feisty Chicago newspaper reporter. Leatherheads, in theaters now.